Hi viewers, welcome back to Mom and Jess Talk Show. So this is our very first episode in the communal living series, and in this series we're starting with my amazing guest Cynthia. She's a lovely woman, and I'm sure by God's grace she will do justice to this topic. She's a mother, a wife, blessed with 4 lovely nations, and I have a reason why I picked her to take this episode. Probably I will share with you during the course of our conversation. In the meantime, please hit that subscription button to keep you in line of subsequent episodes. Sit back, relax, grab whatever you got, popcorn or whatever, and listen to Cynthia. She's as real as you can see her. So, Cynthia, welcome to Mom and Jess Talk Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're happy to have you, and you look amazing, by the way. I think I'll have this dress as a giveaway after the end of this talk. So let's, without much ado, let's hit the show. The topic is: it takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to raise a child. I'm sure you all have heard about the adage that says it takes a village to raise a child. So we're just using the community in context of a village. It sounds more proper and all of that, but notwithstanding, it's still saying the same thing. We understand that in the society we find ourselves, things are changing. The trends are changing to things we don't understand, the new revolution and all of that. So what can we do to go back to our communal lifestyle living, the way we're growing up innocently, communities reaching out to each other? What can we do to help restore such kind of lifestyle with dignity? Sit back and let's hear what Cynthia has to give to us about that. Welcome once again. And so let's start by understanding what it means for a community to raise a child.
Like you were saying that what can we do to go back to our old, communal community raising up a child, which for me, personally, I think is not going to happen. It's not possible these days we are living. But we just have to give our children those backgrounds that you train your own child personally the way you were brought up. So now, what does it take? What does it mean to take a community to raise a child?
Right.
Yes. What does that mean? Like that olden days, it takes the whole community, because now the whole community gets to interact with children lifestyles, interact with children well-beings. That time the whole community will come together to see that this child have a healthy and a good environment and is coming out from a good environment. Their ethics, their morals will come out together. The whole community will come together to see that everything of a child works out the way it works.
Exactly.
For example, when I was growing up, we always grew up in this village that our parents, sometimes our parents may not be able to look everything that is happening to us. Because you get that time, that maybe my parents, like for example, my parents, we are 8 of us. For my parents to know everything that happens to each and every person's life, is not going to be 100%. So, but some things that they are lacking, other parents may see. For instance, now when you will see a child at home, or maybe you see a child walking on the street during the school time, and you know that this child is supposed to be at school. So you have to call the parents' attention why this child is not at school.
Right.
Then the parents may tell you, oh, he's not at school, or she's not at school. She told me this morning that she's leaving to school, Then you will bring the child back to attention.
Right.
Sometimes you see someone that is walking, you can see, hey, this eye now is yellow. There's some vitamins this child is lacking. This child can collapse at any time.
Right.
You call the parents' attention. The parents may not see all those things in their children, especially we that comes from a big families. Some of us have 8 of us, 9 of us as the siblings.
Our mothers.
So their mothers may not be able to pick up some small things. So but it's this community that will help and see, oh no, this, and it's not only you, it's even your own mother will pick up from other children
as well.
So that's how it goes in that village that time. But now we are in the modern days. Things are not going the way that or like olden days. So it takes a village means that the whole community have to help and interact with the well-being of the family or well-being of the children, and to make the children to be in a healthy and a safe environment.
Right. Thank you so much for that take. And I just wanted to add to that, because I remember them growing up, if as young girls, when you're walking down the road and a guy is walking up to you asking your name, I'm sure young ladies, you can relate to that. And you'll be mindful, because you know that even if you are not close by home, another parent could see you and be wondering what you are doing hanging on the road and all that. So, but unfortunately, we look at these seasons, the times we live in, people will be like, mind your business and all of that. I don't think that has really done us much good. So, I would like for you to share more benefits with regards to how this communal living helps in the development of children.
Yes. Oh, it helps a lot. There's a lot of benefits, even from my own side, from other people's. I know there's a lot of benefits that you can get from, community coming together to raise a child. For instance, like you already mentioned that sometimes you will stand in the corner with the one going or something, and you will be mindful of, hey, who's going to come and see me? Who's going to come and see me? Secondly, sometimes I remember that time. Sometimes some children, they don't like to act in their community.
When they are somewhere else.
They are somewhere else, they will be something else. You understand? You will come home and meet your child as, this child is a very respected and a very well-mannered child. But outside your community, outside where people doesn't know her, you will see that she's completely something else. So, but when the whole community, even people that doesn't even know that child, when they see that this thing is not good, they will try to trace where is this child is coming from, who are your parents, who are your mother, who are your mother, to go and look for, to go and look for the family that this child is coming from. So they will go and trace and see exactly what is going on. So secondly, thirdly, that sometimes in the community, we used to do education. We used to do lessons in our community. I remember that time when we were in our own community. There is this guy, he was in a university that time, and we were still in secondary school. So we always come. He is our teacher that time. He's just our tutor that time. You always bring all of us together. Our parents will have to, when you come back from school, you take your books, your lesson, straight to the lesson. So we sit. And why is it so? Because now, when we are in lessons now, because you know that another family, your friends, everyone is there. So you will be pushing yourself, trying so hard, because he is asking questions. That is the only thing. Okay, what is this? What is this? And he's expecting answer from you. And everybody's trying to get that answer, because you don't want to be humiliated, left behind. Everybody's kind, we are all trying and pushing ourselves so that we can be able to get ourselves together, to know that thing. So educational wise, it helps. Behavior wise, it helps. Morally, it helps a lot to come together. The benefits are a lot.
Wow, thank you so much for shedding light on all the aspects. I mean, if we can talk about the benefits, we can go on and on and till the day has ended. So we'd like to move on to the next question, which we're going to focus on the reasons why we think families, or parents rather, are not really interested in pointing out or raising awareness to the parents of children that they've noticed certain things. Like, instead they are failing to reach out. They rather like mind their own business, it's not my child kind of attitude. Why do you think parents of those recent times prefer to go with that kind of nature?
Well, first of all, I will just, I don't even need to explain it deeper, but I will just pick up some points. First of all, is social insecurity.
Wow, social insecurity.
Everybody is mind your business. I don't even want my next neighbor to know what is happening in my family anymore. I just want to, if we are eating, we know we are eating. If we are not eating, we know that we are not eating. We don't want every community to know that, okay, this is how we are going through. Secondly, we can just say discrimination. Discrimination, sometimes you'll be scared to be telling your neighbors or to tell someone, hey, this is what my child is doing. Before you know it, and the child will come in that society. Now everybody will say, oh, this is this child that was not okay, or this child is doing this child. By the time they will pass the news to people, or because when I'm discussing with you now as a parent, hey, this is what my daughter is going through, this is what my son is going through. You go home and tell your daughter, oh, Nicolette's mom said this and that, or you may not even tell them directly, or maybe you are saying it on the phone or saying it to someone else. They will hear it. Before you know it, they will come to a school, everybody will hear the news, and they will start, oh, this one, I don't know what is going on now. Everybody will start discriminating her, a lot of things. So thirdly is digital innovation.
We can't. In fact, we can't do that.
That one is the like, as everybody, all the mothers know. Nobody asks anybody anything these days. If I don't know what is if anything that I need, I will just go to my Google and ask anything. Even Google is giving me the wrong and the
you rather go with it.
I would rather go with it. Nobody wants to. The fact digital innovation is the killer of it all. So everybody is just using their Googles, using their we don't even ask directions anymore. You notice that?
That's right.
Use your map and look for wherever. It's much easier. That's right. Nobody. So those are the things that makes
people just
rather to withdraw.
And sadly, such kind of withdrawal can lead to parents, having burnout, exhaustion. Some people just collapse. I heard a news this morning of a lady that just, was cleaning the church and she collapsed. I guess she might have been battling a lot of issues and probably no one to share with. You don't know how many people are going through that, especially mothers and that are coping with a lot, and men as well. I'm not leaving men out of it. So many rather bottle up their problems and issues, not minding, And the truth is that a problem shared is half solved. Even though we know that sometimes it's the person you share with actually matters. So we pray that if there's any viewer watching, let God lead you to someone you can trust and rely on to share.
Even one more thing I used to tell mothers. Even if you are sharing, you don't use yourself as you are the one in the problem.
Right. You can
even use someone. Hey, there's this my friend. She's going through this. You can even explain the situation you are going through as a friend that is going through it. You might get some one or two answers from the person,
because you can't know it all.
You can't know it all. You can even, when you finish, you can go to another mother. Please, but go to the mothers that's related to what you are going through.
Right.
You can't just go to someone that is just far different from what you are going through.
Because actually experience
matters. People are going through a lot of experience things now. People are expressing things now. So you just have to go to someone that have already gone through that experience, that can even take you. There's one information I got of recently. I was like, what? I was like, hey, where was I a long time? Why wouldn't I go to her? And she's close to me. She's just right in my nose. I didn't even know until when I asked. She doesn't even know that I was even going through that. You understand? So until when I open up, and I open up as a friend, she doesn't really know that I'm going to use this information.
Wow.
So, baby, when you are doing those things, you can be much relieved than bottling things
up. Yeah, mothers in the house, and I hope this. I love Cynthia for one thing. She's very practical. As much as we are doing these discussions, it's our reality, my reality, her reality, our stories. And my story could be your story. Your story could also relate to my story. So there shouldn't be segregation, because that is one thing causing this issue, as you mentioned earlier, the issue of discrimination. That your friend or neighbor is going through this, and then you look down on that person. No one knows it all, and we never know what challenges. God has given us different challenges to face, but what can we do but to hold each other together? No one knows what you will face tomorrow. I was sharing this discussion with a friend, and she said, some people think that they are too good, and so they can't step on a pool. And then when you share your issues with them, because she shared her own story with me, then it looked like, oh, she has stepped on a pool, so she's not clean enough. She was giving an example. And then you don't realize tomorrow, maybe a pool will even actually fall on you, not that you even need to step on it. So we just have to see how we can help ourselves, and that will lead me to ask our next question. What are the consequences of not watching out for each other's children? What consequences could we likely face when we neglect things that we see happening to our neighbors' children and just keep quiet?
Yes, so when I said moral value disorientated, sometimes when the child appeared in a society, you will know that this child doesn't even have any morals. First of all, we grow up knowing that when you see your elder, you have to greet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is your first lesson that you learned from your parents' house. But now, when you find out that when you come out in a society, a child will just come. Some of them will say hello, some of them will not even say nothing. You know, so you will find out that this child doesn't have this background, or is not even background orientated. So now it's affecting one of the consequences. Our children sometimes they will behave in a way, or they will present themselves in a manner that you will be asking yourself, where is this child is coming from? You know, sometimes their dressing code, you will see some child, wearing this. When we are growing up, you know that your skirts have to below your knees.
Level of morality,
dressing. You can't even just wear anyhow. Even in your university, they won't even allow you to walk with some of the clothes that now that some people are wearing. So those are one of the consequences. Yeah. So our children are just, even some of them are lacking identity. Like you don't know your origin of your identity. You don't even know where you are coming from. When they are telling you where is your village, some of our children doesn't even know where we're coming from. We just know that I'm from Nigeria. That's all. Where in Nigeria? We don't know. You don't even know the family. Who even some of them doesn't even know your siblings' names. And some of their cousins. Some of them have not interact. It's not as if you have to take them there, but you interaction with them. You call this person, this is your uncle, this is your grandmother, come and speak to her, this is this one, this is your auntie. This, you just just telling the child to know where she's coming from or where he's coming from. Family backgrounds matters a lot. Family backgrounds, the way you brought him up is the way he will go when he's old. So the family orientated is much important. So those are the things some of our children are lacking now. But by the grace of God, God is giving us the grace to lead them to the right paths in life.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Because as you have pointed out, there are so many abnormal behaviors that are now normalized in our society. So many, I can't even begin to mention them. And even though our kids are being raised well, they are forced to now, except by God's grace, as you mentioned, some of them have even started accepting these very abnormal behaviors, from dressing to accepting all sorts of. The other day, my daughter was telling me what they were being taught in orientation about either being a man or a woman, or a man-woman, or a pan-woman. She actually mentioned that there are 6 types of genders, no longer male and female. I mean, if this is what they are being taught, and a parent is not able to establish what God has established for us, the God standard principle, if we are not there to guide them with the word of God, they will go with what the teachers are teaching them, and they believe it because it's now the new norm according to the society. So pray the Lord will help us, even in the communal living. We can do our best as children of God as well to teach the God principle, the God standard way of living. And we'll take our last question. Thank you so much for that take. The last question is, I understand that when you're growing up, even myself, we grew up in a communal living environment and era, and I can tell you that there are some basic principles I still instill from what I learned as a child, and I want you to share with us your own experience from communal living. How do you think it has affected you, and how are you passing it on to your children?
Oh, my own experience. Although I didn't experience a lot, because I grew up in this family that our father is so protective of his children, and we don't go out a lot. We are known as a family that's always there indoors, So, but it helps me because now I have, like that time when we come out, our peers will be telling us, trying to, you know, joke with us or mock with us, like, you people are the ones they are stealing inside the house. They will steal you, your father will steal you, you don't go out, you don't communicate, you don't do a lot of things with the other people in the village.
Yeah.
So, and my father will always tell you that you have to be confident on yourself. When they're telling you, say, yes, this is how I was raised up, this is what my father wants for me.
Right.
And I don't need to be everywhere in the community for me to make an example or for me to make a difference. One thing I know is that when I appear, I know what I know. My father is teaching us everything. We go to church very, very well. My mother is make sure of that. We learn everything. In fact, our going out is just church and home. We don't get to have experience of just playing with other children, which we do. So, we sneak out and do sometimes once in a while. But I really shaped like that you have to be very, very confident of yourself. Anything that you are doing, you have to be very confident in yourself, that you have to know what you want. Just know the right thing and be doing the right thing. Know the right thing and be doing it. Don't deviate from what people are telling you, because in as much as we are missing up, it helps us. There's still some bad
values and all that.
Yes. So now we just know that this is my father. If my father knows or my mother sees that I'm doing this thing, she won't be happy, he won't be happy. So let me not go that side. Let me just go and the right thing they taught us to be doing. So it really shaped me, because when I came here, I can see that our life here is the same, almost like the same, that you have to be where I've been raised. You just have to do your things, state your things and do your things the way. And now I'm passing it on to my children. Communicate. I'm very, very social person. I talk, we talk, I chat, I visit people, but know who you are as a human being. Just know who you are as a human being, so that don't let the bad influence of the society influence you or affect you in your life.
Wow.
That's the only thing.
Wow, thank you so much, Cynthia. I like the angle you came from, because as much as we are preaching the communal living and learning from each other, we should also understand our identity. Establish our identities in the children. They ought to know who they are, especially in Christ. Understanding their core values and family ethics and principles. We can't even overemphasize on this. If the parent is not able to do this, sadly they will lose the child to the society. As we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of teachings, a lot of very bad, not so good things that people pick up, behaviors, attitude, cultures, and adapt easily, especially for children. So parents out there, our guest has pointed it out, it's our responsibility to pass on the right core values, principles, and the right culture and the God standard culture, if you ask me, in our children, so that wherever they find themselves in, they don't get lost amidst the crowd. On this note, we'd like to end this episode and see you next episode. Bye.